I'm running out of water and I cannot drink rotten egg water. So morning of day 22, back to road walking. Got a little farther to go to get up to Grand Gulch, a place I've actually never been. It's been on my list for a long time, just never managed to make it happen. So, got to endure a little road walking, but you know what? At least it's a good looking road. Look at these views. It's pretty amazing. You'll see all the way down to Monument Valley out there. And you can see the Grand Gulch ahead of us. That's where we're headed, those white canyons out there. So just a few more miles of this, about 5 or 6 miles, I think. And then we'll be back cross country and then into the gulch. All right, let's go. Again with the crazy magazines out in the middle of nowhere. Got off the road for a second because I spotted this tank. Look at that. Cow water is going to become Jamal water. I love it. Also, looking ahead, look what I see up on the horizon. Those are bear's ears up there, folks. We are getting close. Kind of having a Forrest Gump moment here. It's not the right highway, but same neighborhood. Felt like walking, so I walked. Didn't know where I was going. I just kept walking. Jenny! I used to date a girl named Jennifer, and she hated it when people called her Jenny. So then after that movie, people would say, Jenny! She hated it. I'm gonna run over here. Those are bear's ears. Fortunately, we're not going straight there. We're actually gonna detour this way into Grand Gulch and then work our way back to the bear's ears. But we are getting close. You know, I hate road walking. I try to avoid it at all costs, but sometimes it does have its benefits. Because occasionally you'll get some cool people to stop and ask you, what the heck's going on? And when they do, sometimes they give you good things, such as Powerade. Just met a cool couple, Tyler and Thea from St. George. They were curious what's going on. They're out here exploring themselves. They stopped, talked a bit, gave me a Powerade and a frozen bottle of ice water. It's good stuff. Most appreciated. Okay, keep walking. So this has happened before. I have a pressure point on my toes. It's hurting, so but I can tell right there that is puffed up and it shouldn't be. And I think there's sand inside of there. It'd probably be best to do this without my feet in the boot, but I'm taking my chances. Look at that sand. Look at that sand come out. Look at that. Look at all that sand. So much better. It's like instant relief. I love it. I've left the road behind. I'm going cross country again. It feels good. Trying to make my way over to Collins Spring Trailhead. And that's where we will enter Grand Gulch. Okay, let's go this way. Ice, ice, baby. Love it. I did a poor job on my cross-country line. I drifted too far south and I came to this part of the canyon that I knew was going to be impassable. So I've got to walk the rim a ways up north and then find a way down, hopefully. Got down in. Now I just need to find a way out the other side. I scouted some stuff from up at top, so I'm expecting just down canyon a way to exit to the east. All right, out of one canyon, headed for another. This is the good one. This is the Grand Gulch coming up. First, I'm gonna go inspect this though. A tank over there. Curious what that is. Of all the weird things to find out in the middle of nowhere, I find this. What in the world? All right, I'm taking her with me. It's Collins Spring with some improvements. So yeah, Collin has quite the waterworks going on here. Solar well here, then overflow tank, nice clean water, and a second tank down over there. So for hikers, it's actually up from the trailhead. It's a trail out there, you can see a few cars. So yeah, the spring is actually not right at the trailhead. All right, but I'm happy to get some good water. Actually, I've had plenty of water. What I thought was gonna be such a dry stretch was actually quite fine. Here we go, Grand Gulch coming up. Are you excited? I'm excited. So what's the big deal with the Grand Gulch? Well, in addition to being some really cool geology, where the stream has cut this windy canyon through Cedar Mesa sandstone, it's also considered by many an outdoor museum of history of the ancient peoples who lived here. A group called the Basket Makers, who thrived here 2,000 to 1,500 years ago. Artifacts from their culture can be found throughout the canyon, and they're actually the ancestors of a lot of the Puebloan people that we see the history of throughout the Colorado Plateau area. Yeah, so it's going to be exciting. I'm going to see a lot of ruins and kivas and pictographs and petroglyphs, all kinds of cool stuff. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited. Also, I should mention it takes some doing to be able to see all this stuff, because not only is it a tough hike to get here into the Grand Gulch, but you have to have a permit. And there's a permit system that at times can be hard to get a permit. They only allow so many people in the canyon, per day. And one good thing about COVID is it actually allowed me to get the permit via email instead of having to pick up in person, because in-person pickup is really hard to do when you're on a through hike. So because of that, I was able to get my email, and it's a little behind schedule, so I had to reschedule it once, but all is good now, and I'm glad to be here and check out this awesome place. Yay, we are officially down in the Grand Gulch. It already feels pretty amazing. We're going to explore a little bit downstream, but then we're headed upstream a long ways next few days. So this spot right here is called the Narrows. It's the narrowest portion of the Grand Gulch. This little pass right here. It's really just where the stream has cut a direct path, leaving an abandoned meander all the way around the Big Bend. Cool little spot. After a bit of searching, I finally found my first panel of rock art in Grand Gulch. There are a bunch of pictographs on this wall. Handprints again, which I love. Some figures. Some full-size figures up there. Still at the same site, just farther up the wall, are these three big figures. And some more cool little handprints. So this is probably the runner-up for the Narrows Award. It's another spot where the stream is cut through, and it's an abandoned meander around. See, you can see the canyon swinging to the south. It goes around this little island, comes back on the other side. But now the stream takes the direct course. Some cool pictographs along this wall. They're all figures, different types of dress, some petroglyphs as well. In fact, I'm not sure if I've ever seen this, a petroglyph with paint on it. So it's chipped into the stone and then ornated with paint. I'm at the site of the Bannister House Ruin. You can probably see the unique feature that gives it its name. Talk about life on the edge. That's crazy. So right underneath the Bannister House is this kiva. It's still in pretty good shape, including the little window. Entrance to the kiva is not allowed, but I'm going to see if I can get my camera in there without touching anything. Yay, there's water. Oh man, I've been looking so long for water. I did this hike up a side canyon to Deer Spring, and Deer Spring was dry, but here's water. Oh man, I'm happy. Whenever I don't have water, I start getting nervous. Then I hike slower, which means I need more water. So it's just a bad cycle. So now it's like a reset button. I have water, we can start plugging away again. All right, after I take a little relaxation. The ruins here in Deer Creek Canyon are in pretty bad shape at this site. But got some cool handprints and a cool arrow design. Some more pictographs. I guess this one depicts the day they saw the giant airplane in the sky. Not sure what else that could be. And lots of pottery. You're not supposed to collect them together in galleries like this, but people still do. Cool stuff. Day 23. Gotta say right now, I'm not loving the Grand Gulch. It's a lot of work. I'm slogging through this like 2 to 3 inch pebble sand all day. The sun is warm. There's no water. I mean, I'm glad I found that water out at Deer Spring, but I went a long ways out of my way to get that. So, yeah, the ruins and stuff have been good, but it's not worth it yet. But I hope it gets better. The upper canyon is supposed to be better as far as ruins and pictographs go, so I'm anxious to get there. Just slog through some more sand and hopefully I'll be there before too long. This is the first water I've seen in the main canyon. Of course, I see it right after I did a long side hike to get water, but we're approaching another spring. But since the last one was dry in the main canyon, I didn't want to take any chances. So I'm glad I got the water that I did. Honestly, mine looks better than this, but by the time we get up to the spring, it might be better. We'll see. Just climbed up the big pour-off. It wasn't too big. Got some water there first, and I spotted a ruin coming around the corner, which is cool because I didn't expect it, didn't know it would be there. And then I spotted this one. Check it out. Another little granary. Keep a lot of grain in there. All right, good stuff. Let's keep going up again. Love spotting ruins that are not on any map that I have. Saw these guys that look really well preserved, and this nice round guy over here in this little cave. I spotted this ruin from the opposite stream bank and thought I had to come and take a look. Looks like it suffered quite a bit of fire damage. It's got several cross beams still intact. Little windows over here. Cool sight. Climbed up to another big set of ruins. It's a pretty big site, pretty cool. They must have carried these huge logs up for beams of support. Funny, I climbed all the way up there to check out those dwellings. And way down below, the way I came up, there's another one. Right down there, that one would have been easy to get to. Sun is going down. Need to find me a place to camp. I think I found it down in those sagebrush right down there.
What is that sound? What is that?
I came back up to take a look at this lower dwelling. I read my notes via Kelsey, and he said the site actually includes a kiva. So I'm thinking that is the kiva, separate from the main big ruin up on top. Let's go take a look. Still in really good shape. Cottonwood floaties just filling the air. Just kind of magical. Day 24 of Grand Gulch. I am at Pollys Island. Hope to get more water here. There's supposed to be a spring just about a half a mile up the side canyon, and I ran into another group that had just come down the canyon, and they said it's dry. Said the only water was probably a 2-hour hike back up, so I don't want to do that. And unfortunately, they had more bad information about water because they got the latest report, and a lot of the other springs are dry too, so it's going to make it not fun. There's still water out here, just sporadic and not high quality, so I'm having to grab it when I can get it and filter it and endure the taste, which means I'm hiking with a lot of water in between the stops. So not fun, makes for slow going, but still good to be here. Still an amazing spot. Just, yeah, it'd be nice if there was a nice stream running through it. Another granary up there. You can't always trust my pronunciations, but I was told granary is proper over Granary, but either one is okay by me. Of all the sites I wanted to see in Grand Gulch, this one is probably the one I wanted to see the most. It's called the Big Man Panel. And here is the big man. The big man and his missus, I'm assuming. There's a little info pamphlet here at the site. I learned something. All this time I thought this was the big man, but it's not. This is the big woman. And that is the big man. If you look closely, you can see the big woman has a necklace and ornate stitching around a skirt of some sort. And the man is supposedly naked, and you can see his unit. So yeah, the idea that you can see his manhood gives a whole new context to the panel being called the Big Man, which definitely confirms he is the big man. Did not know that. So there we have it, folks. Big woman, big man. I also learned, if you take a close look at the big woman, you can actually see she is comprised of handprints. So look in her upper right hand shoulder, you can see handprints. A lot of the white lines are chalking that's been added later. A practice that is prohibited now, but used to be quite common to do to try to bring out some of the outlines of the art. Does that indicate someone is pregnant? I'm not sure. Pretty awesome stuff. And of course, they had a great view overlooking the Grand Gulch. If you look really closely, you can see Big Man and Big Woman up there. There were some other people arriving just as I left, so there's a girl in a white t-shirt you can see. She's right kind of underneath Big Woman. Found another granary. This one just a little bit south of Longhouse Ruin. This granary is actually underneath an arch. In several spots in southern Utah, you'll see granaries underneath arches, like in Canyonlands and over by the Escalante area. So it must have been a very special place for them. I love the ceiling here too. The patterns are very cool. House on lightning. There's more and more pictographs and rock art. This whole wall is just covered. Handprints, red and yellow, various zigzags, and then these three characters in yellow. Not so big man, not so big woman, maybe a kid. And then up here, some more designs. So much. It's a cool place. It was right underneath there where we saw the granary earlier. So it'd been right down back there. I'm at the Longhouse Ruin. Come on in. This one's big enough to actually walk through. Only rule is do not touch anything. Do not touch any walls. Of course, don't touch any of the pictographs that you can see. There's this one main room and then several over here that are in ruins. Also, the granary down there. Cool stone matate, I think it's called. Definitely more interesting pictographs. Dots all along the line. Handprints. Some cool figures. Another cool spot. This Grand Gulch is some hard work, I tell you that. Last night I camped 2.5 miles as the crow flies from the previous night's camp. It's all the farther I made it. But actually I walked 17 miles in between those two spots. I used my Fitbit to track my actual mileage. So that includes all the winding through the canyon and then up and down to see several ruins and pictograph sites, plus a side hike out Deer Creek to get some water and come back. So yeah, 17 miles to go 2.5 miles on the map. That's hard work. A lot more pictographs up there. This is called the Big Parade Panel. But as far as I can tell, it's inaccessible. I'm starting to get food cravings. Like right now I'm craving tacos. But what's so crazy, it's not just any taco. It's Taco John's, which is a small fast food restaurant from where I grew up back in Missouri. And for some reason, I can just taste those tacos. I just want them. So it's sad because even when I get off the trail, I can't have those, but I'm sure I'll find another substitute. The cottonwood puffies here didn't fully puff up, so it looks like there's just a bunch of styrofoam packaging peanuts all over the ground. Fluff up, guy, and fly. Oop. That's strange. I don't think I've ever seen a dry canyon have so much vegetation. Like, this is what it's like most of the way, just lined with cottonwoods and absolutely dry. Oh hey, look, there's a canyon up there. I'm finally out of the tree tunnel. But seriously, how does a canyon with no running water sustain this much vegetation? And by the way, where do you camp? There's like no open space, creek bed or brush. Or ruins, which I do love. I do love the ruins, but everything else about Grand Gulch, I'm not loving. I'm at the site for two-story ruin. It's probably the most impressive ruin I've seen so far. Check it out. Appropriately named because there's a top and a bottom. Look at the craftsmanship. Being made out of rudimentary tools, just check out how ornate this wall is and how chiseled, how flat it is with all the rocks. It's fairly smooth. Very amazing. Almost makes all the crazy walking in sand worth it. And once again, quite the view to wake up to or go to bed to every night. Day 25. Still walking through the Grand Gulch tree tunnel. Excited for more opportunities to see the canyon above. At some point, when I have to climb out. At least the sand's not so deep through this section. Looks like it snowed overnight. But not really. It's just the cottonwood fluffies again. A few inches deep. Had a cool feature known as the totem pole. Supposed to be some ruins just up canyon from here as well. So I guess I'll have to go back into the brush and go up and find them. The Black Pool, a rare resource of water. Look who beat me to the watering hole. Mr. Snake. I don't know what he's doing, but he's intent. I assume he's alive, but yeah, he's alive. He hears me now. There he goes. Hey, pretty boy, how you doing? Hi. He's a big boy. You're the big man, aren't you? You're the big man, Snake. So the water I got down from Bullet was terrible. I brought it back and filtered it. It smelled awful. It smelled rotten, like rotten eggs, sulfur. I thought maybe if I filtered it'd be better, but nope, it was still bad. I tried to drink some and started gagging, so I gotta go up to the next spring and hope it's wet. It's a Green Mask Spring, and everyone says it's good. Like they say, it's one of the most reliable, so I need it to be because I am running out of water, and I cannot drink rotten egg water. So, all right, let's go. Hope for the best. This is quite possibly the most beautiful sight I've seen in this canyon. Water flowing down from a spring. I am so happy. I can throw away that nasty, rotten sulfur water and have some good water. I'm at what's known as the Green Mask Ruins site. It's already my favorite because I found a spring nearby, but it's also got some really cool pictographs. You can see the ruins way down there, but the pictographs are way up there on top. Way up there. I have no idea how they got there. Some sort of ladder system. You know, it's possible there were more ledges that have fallen, but there's pictographs here as well, including the elusive Green Mask itself. See him up there? I know it's hard to see, but it's awesome. Green, yellow, and red. Really is so much to take in at the site. I'm just leaning back on this rock and looking up. It's just amazing. They're so well preserved. I don't know if it's because they're under the alcove here, but those up on top, they're just amazing. Some interesting ones down low. According to the info pamphlet, there used to be up to 13 to 14 different structures here, and those drawings we saw high on the wall are believed to be from the archaic people who are the ancestors to the basket makers, and those date back to as much as 8,000 years ago. And it is believed there used to be a higher level there, a higher shelf. So those are the older pictographs, but as you move down here, you'll see the more traditional basket maker style, with these large figures here in red. Look at these. More big figures. And more handprints in yellow and red. Get in there and take a closer look. I think this site was possibly occupied by different groups of people for the duration of 7,000 years. See, the first white men who explored the area found baskets and pottery and human remains and removed most of it for museums. Amazing site, amazing history right here. I'll tell you why this spot was so popular, because of the water. It's the only place in this whole canyon that I found good water. So if I was living here, this is where I'd live too. set up camp. And then I went for a little walk and I found these guys. The twin granaries. See anything in there? See me? I have to say I'm liking this part of the canyon better. It feels much more open. There's less brush. You get to see more of the canyon walls and the cedar mesa and the cedar mesa get to see more of the canyon walls and the cedars. I can't see it. I'm tired. All right, that's it. You know what I'm talking about. More grinding centers. The site actually includes 59 dwellings.